It's iwi. Please welcome your hosts for this evening, Stacey Morrison and Jack Tame.
So without further ado, you know exactly what you are here for tonight.
Yes, a warm welcome to all of our finalists, colleagues, sponsors and guests to the Top 200 Awards for 2022, proudly presented by Deloitte.
Tonight we gather for the 33rd year of the Deloitte Top 200 Index to celebrate and honour this year's outstanding achievers in New Zealand business. That is all of you.
That's right, all of you here, all of you represent the very best of business in Aotearoa.
And of course our finalists and award recipients are the creme de la creme, te taumata o ngā taumata of a very impressive group. So we salute you all. You look amazing, very stylish, including you, Jack. But if you are a finalist tonight, cheers, and we wish you the best of luck.
Our theme this year, if you haven't caught it, is the world is ours. And when you think about those words, it sounds like something in a Bond film, right? The world is ours. It's not quite like that, but it comes with a tagline, and the tagline is the important bit: taking care of business in the global economy, which, as we are all aware, comes with new challenges to meet and issues to solve.
The world is open, but it's not exactly business as usual. These restrictions and closed borders have given everyone time. So with time, we have re-evaluated what really matters to us.
Issues around climate, ESG, diversity and inclusion, culture and mental health are now front of mind. New talent, new employees and businesses alike are now asking, does this organisation share my values, or do we want to do business with them?
So reconnecting with the world of business is very crucial, of course, but re-engaging with people in a party kind of sense, but also in an authentic and purposeful way is vital. Digital technology has given us borderless business, but it's people, everyone who's here tonight, who innovate and drive it.
So yes, the world is ours. But while we're taking care of business, we need to take care of what matters most so that business Aotearoa can do what it does best and turn future challenges into opportunities.
So I just thank Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei for taking care of cultural health and safety, and now your physical health and safety with a little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah. If you are sharing tonight via social media, please use our event hashtag Deloitte Top 200, and depending on what time of night you take the photos and where those photos are taken, be judicious.
Speaking of which, the bathrooms are located at both ends of the room. Just over here is the one I know better than the other, but also down this other end as well.
If there is an emergency, please just follow the instructions of event staff. They'll take care of you.
Now I know you want to get down to business, as they say, so let's get New Zealand Business's big night underway.
He has been a member of the Deloitte team for more than 30 years now, working locally as well as in London, Australia and across the Pacific.
He has served on the board of Deloitte New Zealand, was the Deloitte private lead for Asia Pacific and the CEO of Deloitte New Zealand.
He's the Kuri Nui, the big dog of Deloitte, although he hasn't added that to his email signature just yet.
Maybe.
In 2021, he took over as Chief Executive for Deloitte New Zealand. Please, whānau, welcome Mike Horn.
Well, thank you. Inga iwi, inga mana, inga rau rangatira mā. Tina koutou katoa. Ko Mike Horn, toko ingoa. Ko ahau ti kai whakahaere o Deloitte. No reira, tina koutou katoa. So look, thanks very much for the introduction, Jack and Stacey. I think probably the only person that calls me the big hooner is myself in the mirror, Jack, but I don't think it's probably going to catch on. Look, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Deloitte, welcome to the 2022 Deloitte Top 200 Awards. And a special welcome to all the finalists tonight, but I'd also like to acknowledge, and I think I can see him, Christopher Luxon, the Leader of the Opposition, who's down at this table in front of us. Christopher was actually an alumni of the Top 200, being the winner of the Chief Executive of the Year award in 2015. So I think he knows as well as anyone in the room, the resources, the perseverance and the dedication, that goes through to becoming a finalist in tonight's awards. And it's been 3 years since we were able to hold, awards of this sort of magnitude to celebrate the finalists and winners. So it's really wonderful to have so many of you here, in the room tonight physically, to be able to actually enjoy each other's company and celebrate. And the past few years have certainly been less than ordinary. And even with the pandemic mainly behind us, there are still a number of challenges ahead. But I'm a big believer that these challenges also provide real opportunity. The borders have reopened across the world, technology has changed how we work and the way that we do business. And societal expectations of businesses require meaningful consideration and action. These factors all provide a number of opportunities for organisations that really have the confidence to take a chance, to be innovative and execute delivery ahead of others. And it's those top 200 businesses who have seized the current moment, where we've seen some of the greatest commercial successes in 2022. And this year's finalists are shining examples of businesses and individuals who've really used the recent years to re-evaluate what mattered most to them. They've leveraged this as they've reconnected with the world, they've re-engaged with their people, all the while continuing to focus on long-term strategies and delivering broad stakeholder value. They've very much proven their ability to accept the factors in play and thrive nonetheless. And those same attributes are going to be absolutely critical in the current environment with significant global uncertainty, inflationary challenges, growing social inequity and an ongoing talent shortage. But these leaders will continue to adapt to a world reopened and probably even more importantly, a world reimagined, with further opportunities created even when macro conditions are less supportive. I'd just like to finally take the opportunity to thank our sponsors, and I think they'll be all up on screen here, as well as our judges. Our judges doing a phenomenal job, and I think when you see the calibre of finalists tonight, you'll understand just how difficult that decision is. And they were led again incredibly ably by Fran O'Sullivan, who's just an absolute treasure. Fran's the NZME's Head of Business Content. And look, they've got that really difficult task of deciding the winners, but I think they've done an exemplary job. And so finally, I just invite you now to charge your glasses and toast all the finalists of the 2022 Deloitte Top 200 Awards and wish all of those participating tonight all the best, not only for tonight, but for the future. So enjoy the night. Thanks.
Kia ora. Kia ora, hoa ma. Now, you may have noticed we are in a shed, and that's why it's quite hard to hear. But it's been scientifically proven it's harder to hear if everybody's talking.
Look, I was here a couple of weeks ago for the TV Awards, and a less edifying scene you will not have seen in your entire life. I know it's a low bar, but I'm cautiously optimistic, given the calibre of people we have here this evening, especially compared with New Zealand's TV industry, that we can do a slightly better job of being respectful to speakers when they're up the front. Who knows, it could be you coming up here to receive an award. Case of fight.
And also, I'm a mother, so I'm not above going shh.
Yeah.
Just for respect, because you really do deserve all of the celebration that you have tonight. So now, please welcome the Head of Business Content for NZME and a high-profile business columnist for the New Zealand Herald. She has a strong interest in New Zealand's international business success and is a frequent television commentator and public speaker. She's in the news just about as much as Jack. She chairs the New Zealand-US Council Advisory Board, is a member of the NZ-China Council's Advisory Board, and Deputy Chair of the Pacific Economic Cooperation Council New Zealand Board. She's a regular participant in New Zealand's partnership forums with the United States, Australia and China.
Amidst all of that, she's also the judging panel convener for the Deloitte Top 200 Awards. Please welcome the woman with the longest business card in the world, Fran O'Sullivan.
I thought for a moment I might have to do my own best schoolmarm shh. I have done it before, you would know. Anyway, tēnā koutou katoa, ladies and gentlemen. The organisations and individuals that will tonight receive top honours represent, in our view, the very best of New Zealand business and innovation. The judges are in agreement that there was such a high calibre of finalists that made selecting this year's winners extremely difficult. I'd like to acknowledge my panel colleagues, Neil Pavia-Smith, Ross George, Jonathan Mason, and Hinarangi Raumata Tuia. We've seen amazing success stories across New Zealand business. Values continue to grow for New Zealand, for shareholders, new ways of working have been embraced, and innovative and impactful commitments have been made to our communities, sustainability and the environment. We have been complemented by two specialist judging panels, Young Executive of the Year, which is judged by Barbara Chapman, Rob Campbell and Liam Dan, and the Diversity and Inclusion Award by Rajna Patel, Simon Muta and Royal Reid. Katie Beath from Foresight Bar has been our expert advisor on sustainable business leadership. Each of these judges are leaders in their own field, and I welcome the insights and particularly the sound judgment each has brought to determining this year's winners and finalists. And it's not always an easy task. There is plenty of debate that does go on, and we did start quite early in the year, first meeting in February, several meetings throughout the year, and then as those results came through, winnowing down on those last people in late November, early December, our final calls were made. Early November. Great deal of work goes on behind the scenes, and we've been ably supported by Tim McCready, an analyst, and the Deloitte data team headed by Peter Gulliver, Silvio Brunsma and Cameron Gray. Duncan Bridgman from NZME, the business editor, and his team have already interviewed on video many of tonight's finalists, and you'll be able to see that online tomorrow. Finally, on behalf of our judges, let me congratulate all our winners and finalists. In our view, you've each exhibited true grit, strong business prowess, and through your ability to adapt to an ever-changing economic landscape and at the same time empowering your teams to succeed, I think you're charting a really brilliant future for New Zealand. So enjoy your night and congratulations from us.
Tēnā rawa atu koe, Fran. Thank you so much to you for all your tireless mahi that you and your fellow judges do to determine the finalists and winners for the Deloitte Top 200 Awards. The results are very important, and they're made even more so by all of the work that you do. Kia ora.
And we just want to second the amazing debt of gratitude we all owe to our judges. Jonathan Mason, Hinirangi Raumati-Tua, Neil Pavia-Smith, Ross George.
And our Young Executive of the Year Award judges, Barbara Chapman, Rob Campbell and Liam Dan.
The Diversity and Inclusion Leadership Awards, Rajna Patel, Simon Muta, Royal Reid, and Sustainable Business Leadership Award judging advisor, Katie Beath.
Now, I had the honour of hosting these awards last year, but I didn't even bother to wear heels because you couldn't see that part, because I'm sure you remember that we were forced to hold them online due to COVID restrictions. So we thought we'd actually take a look back and recognise the achievements of the incredible companies and individuals who were honoured with the Deloitte Top 200 Award in 2021. Let's take a look.
I might just tell them we're going to have a couple of breaks.
Yeah.
To pick up everything. Ka pai te mahi. Some incredible winners last year. Now, just before we rip into things for the Deloitte Top 200 Awards for 2022, I'm just going to tell you very quickly how this evening's going to go. You will have an opportunity to network. You will have an opportunity to go around, to schmooze, to recharge your glass, to catch up with old friends. What we're going to do is we're going to have a few of the awards, then we're going to take a bit of a break, then we're going to have a few more awards, take another break, and then the night's yours. So we'll promise to keep things moving relatively quickly, and we hope you'll celebrate the winners once they're announced.
And a good game's a fast game, so let's get into it. From last year to this year, our first award this evening, the Business New Zealand Most Improved Performance Award. Please join us in welcoming Chief Executive of Business New Zealand, Kirk Hope. There's some pace. He's showing some pace.
Don't want to take all night. Look, it's Business New Zealand's great pleasure to present the Business New Zealand Most Improved Performance Award. Business New Zealand works with many of you in the room and our network all over the country to help make a better environment for enabling business to succeed. Not always easy. This award helps to recognise businesses that have not only survived the recent challenges, but have thrived. So let's have a look at the finalists.
Now into its 70th year of trading, Steel & Tube offers a comprehensive range of steel solutions and products through its e-commerce platform and nationwide network. Sourcing, processing and distributing steel products across the country, Steel & Tube services customers ranging from small businesses to some of New Zealand's largest infrastructure and construction projects.
Steel & Tube is a long-time player in an important industry for New Zealand and has been a public face of it for a long time. Over the last 12 months in challenging economic circumstances, Steel & Tube has been amongst the highest performing stocks, with a total shareholder return of 48% in the 12 months to September. This return is a strong demonstration of the turnaround achieved by Mark Malpass and his team. Steel & Tube's board and management inherited a tough situation, but have managed to transform the business, fix the balance sheet with a capital raise, and communicated really well throughout that process. They've also responded strongly to both Australian and imported competition, managing to hold their own in an incredibly competitive industry.
A leading producer of premium quality red meat, Silver Fern Farms produces 30% of New Zealand's lamb, beef and venison in partnership with 16,000 farmers across the country. With the vision of becoming the most successful and sustainable grass-fed red meat company globally, Silver Fern Farms is New Zealand's first red meat processor to independently measure and verify its carbon footprint.
Silver Fern Farms have performed really well in what could have been a difficult ownership structure, split 50-50 across their farmer cooperative and Chinese firm Shanghai Meiling, but they have made it work. In 2021, revenue increased by 10% from 2.5 to 2.75 billion, and net profit after tax rocketed to 103 million from 65 million. Silver Fern Farms have been working on the branding and strategic positioning of their venison, lamb and beef products and focusing on their environmental positions. Sustainability is becoming a core part of its decision-making, with a clear goal of transitioning the company to a nature-positive meat brand.
A cooperative formed and owned by Aotearoa New Zealand's dairy farmers, Fonterra's global presence generates revenue in over 130 countries. With high-quality, sustainable milk that's sought out by customers around the world, Fonterra is committed to producing dairy nutrition in a way that cares for people, animals and the environment, and that also brings value to communities.
Fonterra plays an important role in the New Zealand economy, particularly for many rural communities where a number of us come from. They paid close to $14 million to their dairy farmer suppliers this year. The judges noted positive improvements across the business, driven by a refreshed local management team. Fonterra sometimes faces vocal opposition to their industry, but they have made moves to become more sustainable, along with trialling seaweed as a supplemental feed for dairy cows and working with the government on reducing permanent agricultural emissions.
As three amazing New Zealand companies. So the Business New Zealand Most Improved Performance Award winner this year is Fonterra.
Fantastic. From where we've come from to now, I'm hugely proud of what our team have achieved. On behalf of Business New Zealand, Deloitte, so thank you very much for your support and the judging panel for their work. 10,000 farmer owners, 20,000 employees who get up every day and do the hard mahi to support New Zealand as a whole. Immensely proud, and thank you very much for your support. This is a real honour. Thank you.
Kia ora. And that's how you do a speech.
Beautiful.
Love it. The 2 Degrees Best Growth Strategy Award recognises an outstanding growth performance. The judges look at the past year's revenue and profit growth among a range of factors.
And I don't know if you've heard, but this is a slightly uncertain period we are all navigating at the moment. And creating a meaningful and effective growth strategy has never been more essential to the good health of New Zealand businesses.
The finalists for this award have demonstrated that even in a dynamic and challenging environment, strong outcomes can be achieved.
To present the 2 Degrees Best Growth Strategy Award, please welcome the Chief Business Officer for 2 Degrees, Andrew Fairgray.
The best growth strategy for New Zealand, as some of you may know, we've merged and gone through a bit of a growth ourselves as 2 Degrees. We're now over 1.2 billion. We have 1,700 employees and firmly believe that we can make a difference to New Zealand. We're looking at, in our space, to become a software-defined company delivering digital outcomes. And the finalists today are critical to New Zealand moving forward as we all strive to improve the productivity of New Zealand. So let's look at the finalists.
NZX-listed Freightways is a leading operator of express logistics businesses, handling over 100 million items every year across its express package, business mail, waste renewal and information management brands. Freightways' purpose, we move you to a better place, reflects its approach to business to accurately and efficiently deliver for its customers, teams and shareholders. With an entrepreneurial spirit since the beginning, Freightways continues to look for opportunities to leverage its core businesses and grow new revenue streams.
Freightways' track record of sustained performance continued again in 2022, with a 9% increase in year-on-year revenue, reaching $870 million, and a 20% increase in EBITDA. Freightways redefined their business model several years ago and positioned themselves with a focus on last-mile delivery to our front doors. The recent rapid growth of online purchases has rewarded this well-thought-out strategy. In 2022, Freightways made a significant acquisition of Australian-based Allied Express, providing a scalable entry point into the Aussie express package market. The company's long-time focus on systems, innovation, efficiency and future scalability has seen long-term growth in shareholder return to an annualised 14.5% over the last 10 years.
As a leading automotive brand in New Zealand, Toyota is focused on winning the hearts of New Zealand through exceptional customer experience and mobility for all. Its goal is to make mobility accessible, affordable and safe for everyone, introducing exciting mobility innovation and technology with sustainable business practices to achieve this. Aiming to be net zero by 2050, Toyota is working hard to ensure that their path to getting there helps nature, their business and communities to thrive.
Let's be honest, we have all owned a Toyota at some stage. Palmerston North-based Toyota, with an operating plant in Thames, has more than doubled its profit, increasing to $81 million, up from $37 million in 2021, and revenue increased by a whopping $172 million over the past year. Toyota withstood COVID border closures, increased demand for vehicles and a difficult supply chain. The company's innovative agency business model implemented in 2018 in New Zealand paid off handsomely. Toyota has a strong focus on sustainable business practices, dominating the Uber market and making a meaningful impact on passenger decarbonisation. This year, it has also partnered with 8 Aotearoa businesses, trialling a car-sharing fleet of hydrogen Toyota vehicles.
With over 100 years of engineering excellence, Scott Technology delivers smart automation and robotic solutions that transform industries by making businesses safer, more productive and more efficient. A success story originating from Dunedin, Scott Technology now has design and build operations operations across Australasia, China, Europe and America. Offering solutions that cover all stages of the automation process, Scott Technologies support key sectors such as meat processing, mining laboratory automation, appliance manufacturing, materials handling and industrial automation.
A long-standing Dunedin success story, Scott Technology has continued to carve their path globally, now generating over $220 million in revenue compared with $133 million in 2017. The world has now caught up with the company's forward-thinking and innovative approach. Scott Technology's time has come as more businesses are investing in technology and automation, or robotics as you and I may know it. With impressive operator John Kippenberger at the helm, Scott Technology created a strategy of driving more revenue from repeatable products and services. Its 2-year annualised total shareholder returns are 28%. It's great to have Scott Technology waving the New Zealand flag in such a future-focused industry.
What a great example of great companies doing great things for New Zealand. And the 2022 2 Degrees Best Growth Strategy Award goes to Scott Technologies.
This is very exciting. I accept this on behalf of all of the 650 employees around the world of Scott Technology. This is, as I said, New Zealand, headquartered over 100 years out of Dunedin, but also in Christchurch, Auckland, other parts of New Zealand, Australia, Europe, America and China. In 2020, this team had the courage to steer into who we were and what we looked like then and what we're going to look like in the future. And we reset the strategy to move from a bespoke design and build to more of a productisation business. It's early days. We've had lots of challenges along the way with global supply chain inflation, but the grit and determination and the courage of the team at Scott got this, and they're doing a great job. So thank you to everybody. Deloitte, 2 Degrees, we appreciate your support. Thank you.
I love how fast off the mark. Did you see that? Basically just got the skit out and he was off.
Beautiful.
Up onto the stage, that's what we like to see. Now our next award, diversity and inclusion, is now an intrinsic part of corporate life in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So the judges felt it was really important to change their focus this year.
Yeah, the Barfoot and Thompson Diversity and Inclusion Leadership Award now seeks to recognise organisations that have implemented a strategic program to achieve a substantial performance improvement in diversity and inclusion metrics.
The judges looked really hard at material progress that has been achieved to date and the ability for the program to continue to enhance business performance and employee engagement over the longer term. So we're looking at real results.
To present this award, and looking fabulous I might say, please welcome the head of training for Barfoot and Thompson, Leonie Higgins.
Thank you, everyone. It's just so lovely to see so many people eating and drinking together. It's just amazing. It is my pleasure and Barfoot and Thompson's pleasure to include the diversity and inclusion that we have within our company, within our communities, in a leadership award. So let's take a look at the finalists.
With a legacy going back 180 years, Lion is a pioneering beverage company known for its commitment to people, craftsmanship, community and sustainability. Lion's purpose is to champion sociability and help people live well. With locally loved brands including Steinlager, Spates, Max, Weather Hills and Havana Coffee, Lion is New Zealand's first large Carbon Zero certified beverages company and a member of the Climate Leaders Coalition.
Lion's Balanced Teams concept has been instrumental to its tremendous progress on gender diversity and inclusion. Under the program, Lion has established policies, targets and recruiting controls alongside carefully crafted support frameworks and cultural development initiatives to create an environment where the female voice can be heard across all of its teams and all of its functional areas. Lion achieved its target of 50-50 overall workplace representation and closed its gender pay gap after just 2 years of the program. Lion is now over halfway towards achieving its next goal, ensuring 100% of its teams are 40-40-20 by 2030. The judges were impressed with Lion's long-term commitment to gender diversity in a historically male-dominated industry and the highly embedded culture change they have achieved.
As New Zealand's largest telecommunications and digital services company, Spark services customers from consumers and households to small businesses, not-for-profits, government and large enterprise clients. Driven by a purpose to help all of New Zealand win big in a digital world, Spark is harnessing the power of technology to create a positive digital future for all Kiwis.
Spark's cloak of growth, beyond binary, mahitahi, well-being and blue heart concepts are driving all forms of diversity and inclusion across the company. Initially led by management, the cultural framework is now very much led by its people and has become part of the company's DNA. The program has achieved impressive results. Spark has reached a world-leading Net Promoter Score of 84 for bringing your full self to work. They've significantly reduced their overall gender pay gap, achieved job-to-job pay equity, and their board and wider leadership group is now made up of 47% women. The judges believe Spark's broad and horizontally embedded approach to diversity and inclusion is market-leading, setting a fantastic example for other businesses in Aotearoa.
So, good luck to all. And now I'd like to announce that the winner is Spark.
Going to put that down in case I drop it. Kia ora koutou. Well, it's truly a privilege to accept this award tonight on behalf of many team, many whānau, many peers, friends, inclusion gurus, and a Spark partner and team of superpowers and talents that has helped to collectively achieve where we are tonight. E hara takutoa, I te taue takitahi, engari he toa takitini. Kei te mihi ki a Rhonda Korahiki, he wahine toa. Rhonda, you've been a champion of our D&I mahi for the last few years, and I wanted to specifically acknowledge your tenacity and generosity in laying this kaupapa and the foundations from which we have been able to keep being bold as we move forward in the communities that we serve. Well, what a couple of years that it's been for many. But this work for a sustainable and inclusive future for Aotearoa is literally helping more New Zealanders and Aotearoa to win big in a shamelessly plugged digital world. I'd like to acknowledge the DEI kaupapa that we all here tonight are contributing to, especially to our fellow finalists. Lion, we know we have lots to share, to learn, and strengths to combine. So tonight I honour those who have helped us get to where we are today, relentlessly challenge the status quo, and help to chart the paths for those who we serve who come behind us. One thing I'm terribly guilty of is always thinking about what next, what else, what more can we close as a gap. But tonight is a moment that matters to rather reflect on how far we've come. And team, tomorrow we can revisit that mahi and keep going. Kia kaha, kia maia, kia manawanui. Thank you.
Congratulations to everyone at Spark, and as you just said, e hara taku toa I te toa takitahi, he toa takitini ke. My success is not that of myself, but of the collective. And speaking of which, before we move on to our next award, the judges wanted to ensure that we acknowledge just how tough the judging process for the Barfoot and Thompson Diversity and Inclusion Leadership Award was this year, and they'd like to commend Lion especially for their achievements in the space of diversity and inclusion. Kia ora.
Yeah, the judges said that the entries from both companies were outstanding. Deciding on a winner for tonight's award just came down to the tiniest little details, so well done.
Just one bubble in the beer, that's all it was. So it's fair to say that our next award can be a career-defining moment.
Yep, it's the Meredith Connell Young Executive of the Year Award, which celebrates an individual's role in influencing, growing and directing their organisation. It recognises someone who is prepared to go well beyond perceived limitations and strive for personal and organisational excellence.
And a very special thank you to this year's Meredith Connell Young Executive of the Year Award judging advisors, Barbara Chapman, Rob Campbell and Liam Dan, who had the very difficult task of whittling down the best of this country's emerging business leaders to just 3 finalists.
So, to present the award, please welcome Meredith Connell partner, Nick Mallarau.
Wow, I'm on TV. It's pretty cool. It's my pleasure to present the Meredith Connell Young Executive of the Year Award. We at Meredith Connell wouldn't be the largest litigation firm if we didn't value our emerging legal talent. And so it is with great pleasure to look at all the emerging business talent there is and to honour it. So it is our pleasure to honour the very best of that talent today. Let's have a look at the outstanding finalists that we've got.
As General Manager Loyalty at Air New Zealand, Kate leads a cross-functional team spanning sales, customer, product development, commercial, digital and marketing, and is responsible for leading the airline's loyalty program, AirPoints. An experienced strategy leader, Kate joined Air New Zealand in 2014 and has since held a number of roles across the organisation in strategy, revenue, management, pricing and network planning.
Kate has already forged a remarkable path through different sections of the Air New Zealand business and has the ability and insight to continue to grow her career and leadership influence. With full P&L responsibility for her area at the airline, Kate has a great opportunity to take the AirPoints scheme to another level of hyper-personalisation. Kate impressed with a strong worldview and a passion for business improvement. She displays empathy and energy, skill and responsibility in equal measure. As a leader, Kate is sensitive to the impact she has on her team. She understands the importance of staying calm and positive to sustain conditions that are conducive to others' success.
Leading Christchurch Airport's planning and sustainability team, Nick is responsible for long-term planning and compliance, sustainability actions and asset management across airfield and campus operations. He is passionate about infrastructure and supply chain organisations that positively contribute to their community, city and country. To deliver the on-site energy needs for future decarbonised aviation and prove the concept for others around the world.
Nick embodies Christchurch Airport's passion for people, prosperity and the planet and applies that to every initiative he undertakes. With decarbonisation a significant challenge facing his sector, Nick has taken the lead on Christchurch Airport's renewable transition. He has a strong understanding of the challenges and potential solutions around climate change and sustainability and has coached and mentored other airlines on reducing Scope 1 emissions. Nick is skilled, organised and determined to succeed at his challenges. He is an asset to his company and the wider aviation industry. It's hard to imagine him not attaining his goals.
During her 9 years with dairy cooperative Fonterra, Victoria has held various roles with scopes covering North America, Europe and Asia Pacific, primarily focused on the marketing of advanced nutrition. Now leading the global B2B marketing team for Fonterra's Active Living business unit, Victoria's scope covers all of adult health, including physical, mental and inner well-being, and extends from active consumers to medical patients.
Victoria's role at Fonterra has seen her launch and establish a new global brand for the business. This has been a hugely challenging role, which she has handled with confidence and calmness. Victoria has a detailed understanding of the technical and scientific requirements for developing new products and a strong knowledge of the markets in which they will sell. Her entrepreneurial view, high maturity and intellect and appreciation of her team have enabled her to deliver strong outcomes for Fonterra. Victoria's enthusiasm for promoting New Zealand food technology to the world will make her a highly valuable business leader as her career progresses.
And the winner of the Meredith Connell Young Executive of the Year is Kate O'Brien.
Wow, thank you. It's a real privilege to be here tonight to celebrate New Zealand business success. So thank you to Deloitte and to Meredith Connell for making this event and this award possible. Whilst this is an individual award, I haven't really done any of this on my own, so I've got three big thank yous I want to make. Firstly, to Air New Zealand. I've been there for 9 years now, and I've worked with some amazing people and had some amazing experiences that have really shaped the leader I've become. So thank you to all my managers and mentors from the past, to our board, Greg, the exec, and all my amazing colleagues for your support. Secondly, to the loyalty team at Air New Zealand. No leader can do what they do without an amazing team around them. And you are an amazing team, so thank you, and please consider this your success as well. And lastly, to my husband and my mum and dad, who are all here tonight. It can be a bit of a juggle doing this with now 2 little kids, so thank you for all your love and support. Thanks.
Tēnā rawa tū koe, Kate, o tira koutou koto whānau. Congratulations to you and your whānau as well. What do you reckon, Jack? Better than the TV awards already, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's good to know who you've got to hit up if you want another elite status year, just tacked on the end of the current bonuses we've got, Kate?
Gold. For a long time. So congratulations to everybody. We're making amazing progress, but before we move on, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our incredible family of sponsors, and you know how much this event would not happen if it wasn't for them.
So, on behalf of the Deloitte Top 200 Awards, a heartfelt thank to 2 Degrees, Amazon Web Services, Business New Zealand, Barfoot and Thompson, Forsyth Barn.
And if this is who you work for, feel free to make some noise. Hobson Levy, Meredith Connell, ServiceNow, Tax Traders, and the Aotearoa Circle.
Our exclusive media sponsor is NZ Herald Premium, and of course our wine sponsor is Laithwaites. Yeah.
For the wine. And on behalf of everyone at the Deloitte Top 200 Awards, tēnā rā koutou katoa, thank you so much. Now, just to keep things interesting, the next part of the evening is not part of our usual awards lineup.
Yeah, it's a special edition for this year because the judges want to acknowledge a deserving individual who has gone above and beyond for New Zealand business and for the community as well.
Tonight, the judges' recognition goes to Sir Rob McLeod, KNZM, for his immeasurable contributions to public policy, in particular tax reform, and his influential role in te tiriti negotiations.
Sir Rob is a very successful business leader with an extensive career across governance and executive roles. His contributions across Australasia are far-reaching, championing diversity and inclusion, Indigenous engagement, advocating for Māori, and delivering strong business outcomes.
Here to present Sir Rob with the judges' recognition are top 200 judges, Hinerangi Raumatitua and Neil Pavia-Smith. And just before we invite Sir Rob to the stage, let's have a look at just a few of his achievements.
Renowned tax specialist and Māori leader Sir Rob McLeod has an extensive professional and governance career across both the accounting profession and various public and private organisations in Aotearoa, New Zealand and Australia. Sir Rob held a number of notable senior leadership roles, including CEO of Ernst & Young Australasia, chair of the 2001 Government Tax Review, and 8 years as chair of the New Zealand Business Roundtable. Currently chair of Sanford, Quayside Holdings and Ngāti Holding Company, and director of Port of Tauranga, Sir Rob was awarded knighthood for his services to business and Māori in 2019. Throughout his glittering career, Sir Rob has championed gender equality and Indigenous engagement. A retired member of the Business Council of Australia, including membership of the Indigenous Engagement Task Force, Sir Rob also served on the Hui Taumata Task Force in 2006 to increase Māori participation, leadership and governance in the workforce. Sir Rob held a significant and influential role as lead negotiator for Te Haiata, the Ngāti Porou Treaty Settlement Committee, and as Commissioner of the Treaty of Waitangi Fisheries Commission, helped to address the allocation of fishery assets for Māori. Adding to Sir Rob's list of achievements, he was also a member of the Māori Economic Development Task Force and the establishment team for Māori Development Agency, Te Puni Kōkiri.
Sir Rob is known as an incredibly intelligent leader who values building relationships and has a natural ability to get along with people. His accomplishments reach far and wide, from advocating for Māori interests in entrepreneurship through to playing a role in shaping public policy and driving outstanding business outcomes. Sir Rob's immense contributions to date, alongside those still to come, will continue to leave a legacy well into the future for New Zealand and Australian business and our wider communities.
Please welcome Sir Rob McLeod.
Ko wāpu te awa, ko hikarangi te maunga, ko Ngāti Porou te iwi. Ko Robert McLeod taku ingoa, nō reira tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. May I thank Deloitte and may I also thank the judges for this amazing award. I am very humbled to receive it, but obviously delighted at the same time. I'm particularly delighted that the award is singled out Māori leadership in business. I think that is an amazing focus for awards like this. If I can be selfish for a moment, I think the opportunity to increase Māori participation in business is a fantastic goal. For those of you who know me, you probably know that I come from kind of the market side of economic thinking, and the more business people that we have in our families, in our whānau, and also in government, the better off I think New Zealand will be. And so this celebration, to the extent that it actually promotes that kind of increased participation by Māori, is something that I would highly value. I also think the private sector is the best place to celebrate Māori achievement, whether it be on the sports field or in business or elsewhere in arts and crafts and the like. The topic of Māori in New Zealand is going through an interesting phase in political debate, but that kind of debate, that focus tends to bring more tension along with it, whereas celebration of Māori as a significant segment of New Zealand society is where the focus should be. Māori are now 18% of the New Zealand population. It's a young population. The cohort is young, so it's not going to be very long at all before Māori are something like 25% of the workforce in New Zealand. And when I speak to Māori, it's important, as I was discussing with a friend tonight, that not to treat Māori as commodities. Māori are a segment of the New Zealand society that are pluralistic, have their own views, including have plenty of arguments. Indeed, this afternoon I was in a forum, a Māori forum, where there was as much argument as there was consensus. And for those of you who have a similar background to me, I'm sure you'll attest that reality. Can I also take the opportunity of thanking my family? My wife Joanne here is with me tonight. because the contributions that I have made have come at some cost in terms of the time, and time is a precious commodity in families. So if you're allowed as a husband to allocate more of that family time to these sorts of endeavours, I think family needs to be thanked for it. I should also thank Māori for giving me the opportunity to participate in their initiatives, and in particular Ngāti Porou. My current focus in Ngāti Porou is as the chairman of their commercial arm. Ngāti Porou are the second largest iwi in New Zealand. I think perhaps the most famous of the iwi, if I'm allowed to say, being the only iwi that has, a man on a $50 note, Siraparana Ngata. Some might say that's not something to celebrate, but I certainly, with the background that you know me as having, celebrate it. So I am now, as I say, chairing the commercial arm of Ngāti Porou, having led the treaty settlement for Ngāti Porou, and as I say to my whanaunga, I kind of was there in the creation of your assets, so I suppose it's now appropriate that I come along and try and manage them with you. So without any further ado, may I thank you all, and thank again Deloitte for this wonderful award, and just close by saying kia ora koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Well done. Now, the winner of our next award isn't necessarily associated with the top 200 company or, in fact, any company at all. They have taken a visionary position and led with purpose and by example.
Yeah, the recipient may be a fixture in the business world. They may be someone who has applied business methods to other fields, or they may be someone whose work is of importance to the business community. Their contribution might have been made in the previous 12 months, or the award could be recognition for a lifetime of achievement.
So you might remember that last year's Hobson Levy Visionary Leader Award went to Peter Beck of Rocket Lab, arguably someone who really does epitomise a visionary leader.
Yeah, in previous years, recipients have included Sirian Taylor of Animation Research for his cutting-edge work in computer animation,
and Dame Fran Wild, who was honoured with this award in 2019 for her bold vision and ability to get things done throughout a remarkable career in national and regional government.
So, I think it is fair to say that this year's winner will take a richly deserved place amongst some truly legendary Kiwi leaders.
Here to present this year's Hobson Levy Visionary Leader Award, please welcome partner of Hobson Levy, Stephen Levy.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Hobson Levy is an executive search firm that passionately believes that leaders matter. So it gives me particular pleasure to be presenting this award tonight, which is fundamentally all about leadership. There are no finalists for this award. It's a zero-sum game. There is only one winner. Although tonight, bit of a twist, there are two. It's my pleasure to present the Hobson Levy Visionary Leader Award to Jim and Rose Delegate of Delegate Group.
Jim and Rose Delegate, a brother and sister duo, are the names behind one of New Zealand's most successful wine businesses, Delegate Group. Now a 75-year-old publicly listed company, Jim and Rose took over the running of Delegate Wines from their parents at the young ages of just 24 and 22. Together, they've taken their New Zealand wine to the global stage, growing the Oyster Bay brand into New Zealand's top-selling super premium wine brand globally. The pair have made an extensive contribution to the development of the wider wine industry, and were this year named as Fellows of New Zealand Wine Growers, recognising their service and dedication to the industry.
From the outset, Jim and Rose Delegate backed their vision of New Zealand as an exporter of super premium wine to the world's most discerning markets. For two 20-somethings, this was a bold ambition. Jim was the planner and business builder, Rose the marketing supremo, and together they were a powerhouse. They established vineyards in Hawke's Bay, imported a major Chardonnay clone from California going on to use barrel fermentation, then were among the first to plant vines on the gravels at Gimblett Road for red wine. It's not all been plain sailing. The pair had to sell control of the company to avoid receivership when a wine glut in the mid-1980s forced a major industry rationalisation. But 3 years later, it was back in family ownership. By 1990, the siblings' pioneering ethos had taken them to Marlborough, where their first vintage of Oyster Bay Sauvignon Blanc won gold and the coveted Marquis de Gulain trophy for Best Sauvignon Blanc. Key to the international success of Delegates and their comparative advantage over other wine exporting companies lies in its single brand export strategy targeting the super premium category with Oyster Bay. This approach has enabled Delegates to maintain relatively stable export prices in key markets. Jim and Rose also determined Delegates should control distribution and marketing in export markets rather than working through agents, a rare approach in the New Zealand wine industry. It has been credited as helping Delegates sustain better relationships and higher margins over time. The result is a company that today sells more than 3.3 million cases of wine, predominantly overseas. Delegates is now a $1 billion public company, which since listing in 2006 has delivered an annualised total shareholder return of 16.5% per annum. Quite a remarkable success story, but reflective of the vision and leadership Jim and Rose have brought to the company bearing their family name. Both siblings have also held major leadership roles in the New Zealand wine export industry, helping pave the way for others in this growing sector.
Please. Thank you, and please join me in congratulating Jim and Rose again. Thank you.
Jim and Rose, I'll ask you to come and sit down here if you can, to your right. Come and take a seat of your choice. We're just going to take a couple of minutes and ask Jim and Rose to share with us some of their insights from their astonishing success over the last, not trying to embarrass you here, Jim, 5 decades in New Zealand business. I promise not to ask any negative questions. I'm not going to start with you. Yeah, I'm not going to start with you. I'm going to start in 1947. And for a moment, can you imagine what the New Zealand wine industry was like in 1947? Limited is the word that comes to mind. But that's when your parents, having been in Aotearoa, New Zealand for less than 10 years after arriving here from Croatia, planted their first vines in Henderson. So Jim, I wondered if you could talk to us a little bit about your parents' influence in your success.
Thank you, Jack. I'm sure I can speak for Rose that very obviously we're very humbled, surprised and humbled to sit here before you all as such an illustrious group of industry people, leaders and Deloittes and judges. Thank you so much. It's not often that I'm lost for words. I might struggle for a moment, but it's ironic that we're here tonight, Rose, and that this year, 2022, Delegate is celebrating 75 years of visionary winemaking in New Zealand. So this is whatever it is. It's more than one could explain. Jack, true. Our parents arrived here pre-1940s as single people from Croatia. They met and married, and in 1940 they married here in Auckland at St Patrick's Cathedral. 2 Croatian people. Dad was 30, Mum was 19. They had met each other in West Auckland, where the Croatian community was establishing and felt comfortable in socialising amongst themselves. They had the wedding in St Patrick's Cathedral. The history says they had the wedding reception at the top of Farmers Trading Company, which is the Heritage Hotel now. And that was on the Saturday, and on the Sunday they hopped on the bus and they went to the Waikato to a place called Morrinsville, which someone's made famous in recent times. And they worked for 7 years for Mr. Jack Hart, and they worked there as farm labourers, saving sufficient funds to arrive in West Auckland in 1947 to buy 4 hectares of land where they planted their first vines.
Mum and Dad did that because it was something that they felt comfortable in doing. They knew a lot about that because they'd come from that part of the world. And with the support of the Croatian community, they were able to take vine cuttings and swap information and learn and establish a vineyard. So that was 1947 on 4 hectares, 10 acres in West Auckland. We went from subsistence farming to family business, and from a family business in 2006 to share market listing, to today we're a global wine business, and the records would show, the performance would suggest that, well, performance shows that we're the 4th largest global super premium wine company in the world today.
I'm going to interrupt you if I can very briefly, Jim. We'll come back to you in just a moment. I just want to make sure Rose has got a word here. There was... Well, it is an amazing story, and I was saying to Jim the other day, it's remarkable to me that from that little nugget, from your parents in 1947, when I lived in Spanish Harlem, New York, I knew that if I went to the bottle shop around the corner, I could very reliably get a bottle of Oyster Bay. That is incredible, that over the space of your lifetime, you've seen that kind of change. Can you talk to us a little bit about 86? We heard about it in the video there, but there was an incredible downturn for the New Zealand wine industry, a massive wine glut. How did you survive that period?
Well, Jack, that period of time wasn't easy for the wine industry, let alone for us. And we were one of 2 companies at that time that went into receivership. And that period of time was very testing for us as a family business in trauma, and within an industry that was itself in a very bad state. Some of you, all of you possibly may remember the times we're pulling out of the Mullaturgau vines and all of that period of time. And to quote more modern commentators these days, it was a period of readjustment and a reset. But we managed because we had a huge amount of family pride. We were both very young. In your introduction, you alluded to that. So our mum was in her 40s, I was 22, Jim was 24, and we felt very responsible because Dad had died some years before, and we felt that we were doing the right thing. So we had to make a plan. And I urge all of you here today, make a plan and stick with it. You need to make adjustments on the way. But we made a plan and we had raw grit. We had to get the family pride, the family business, and the basis upon which we were living back on track. And so with the help of some very, very good people, Wilson Neal, a Dunedin company at the time, were wine retailers. They needed an assurity of supply because bag in the box at that period was a big deal. And we were an opportunity for them. So they purchased 51% of the company at the time. And that was a bitter pill as well, 51%. It wasn't the 50, it was the one that buggered us up. But however, we managed, and over a period of 3 years, and that was a partnership. It wasn't just a takeover. That became a partnership, it became a reality, and it became a very important part of our survival. And 3 years later, we actually were able to purchase the company back from Wilson Neal, lock, stock and barrel, and Jim and I had the opportunity to start over.
Not only did you survive, you thrived. And there are a couple of quick points I want to ask you about here. Jim, when it came to taking Delegate international, sales, marketing, distribution, you handled yourself. You didn't outsource that to third-party agents. Can you talk us through that strategy?
Well, that's an interesting one because, you see, the thing is that we had a strategy where we said that we We sat down and said, if we have to be successful, we've got to lead New Zealand wine category growth and establish Deloitte as New Zealand's leading global super premium wine company. And we said that what are the things that we have to do really, really well? And that was, your sales, your distribution, your branding, of course. And then it was about supply, buying land and building state-of-the-art wineries. But more importantly than that, it was about building those enduring business relationships. And I have to say that Rose was an absolute master at that, because she travelled around the world. We went to the UK. Jeffrey Roberts agencies had wonderful wines on the list, and we still had the Delegate label, and we're just emerging with the Oyster Bay label. And Rose created these wonderful relationships in the UK and Ireland and Europe, and then I came a little bit later with Australia, and then we developed, Oyster Bay. So enduring business relationships is key to success, we believe, never forgetting who your customer is. And then, of course, it's building the team, and the team is about aiming high, mastery, and winning together. And that's really what it's about in delivering long-term strategic success. It's the people.
I note that our time is almost up, Rose. I know there'll be many people in this room who are hoping you can share little nuggets of gold from your experience over the years. Is there a message or a piece of advice you could share?
I'll be kind. I think one of the biggest things is in any family business is that you have to learn to get along. And if I can say, if I could say this one thing, it's very important in life, but it's very important in business when you are siblings to understand the rank and file. Jim was my older brother, is still my older brother. But he was the managing director. And I was in charge of sales and marketing, and he was in charge of viticulture, winemaking, and wine quality. We developed brands together, and we managed, we built a team. But the point is this, Jack, you've got to understand. He and I argue all the time, and we listen to each other, but at the end of the day, we're neither of us operational anymore, but at the end of the day, Jim was the boss. And in any company, you have to defer to the boss, even if he makes the occasional mistake. But that is key. I think in a family business, you have to know who's the boss.
Can I just have a word on that?
Yeah, please, Jim.
I think, if I might say on the back of that, Rose, the foundation of it was that we agreed on the strategy, we agreed on the key success factors, we pinned our ears back, and we were persistent, and we weren't going to do anything other than work hard and succeed. So the fact was that we agreed on what it was that we wanted to do. How we did it and how we got there is a question of debate, but we had our ears pinned back.
Well, congratulations, Jim and Rose Delegate. Well done, Rob. Great job.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Thank you. Great job. Yeah. I think you survived. Yeah. Thanks.
Quite worried.
No, good job.
Quite worried about these tears. That was great. Were they wonderful?
Yeah, let's hear it again for Jim and Rose Delegate.
Is there anybody here who currently works with their sibling? Anyone who's quite grateful they don't work with a sibling? Probably my siblings. And Jack, you're pretty good at that interviewing thing as well. It's good. Now, they are visionaries, and from visionary leaders to leadership and sustainability, consumers, investors, boards, and employees are increasingly conscious of the need to work together for the long-term benefit of our society and of the taiao, the environment. As we look to the future, we want to recognise those businesses who are taking a long-term view on how they'll do this.
The finalist and winner of the Aotearoa Circle Sustainable Business Leadership Award are leaders in shaping a sustainable future for themselves and for Aotearoa New Zealand. And
a very special thank you to this year's judging advisor for the Aotearoa Circle Sustainable Business Leadership Award, which is Katie Beath.
To present the Aotearoa Circle Sustainable Business Leadership Award, please give a warm welcome to Emerging Director Aotearoa Circle, Izzy Fenwick.
Kia ora. Arguably the most important award of the night. We all know too much to not recognise how absolutely critical sustainable business leadership is. Leadership in this space is going to put businesses on the right side of history and be the thing that future generations remember you for. So it is my pleasure to present, in loving memory of Sir Rob Fenwick, a legend in sustainable business, the Aotearoa Circle Sustainable Business Leadership Award. Let's take a look at the finalists.
As New Zealand's largest 100% renewable energy generator, Meridian Energy and its online subsidiary PowerShop retail electricity to more than 376,000 homes, farms and businesses across New Zealand. With a strong focus on sustainability, Meridian owns and operates 7 hydro stations and 5 wind farms across New Zealand. Meridian has adopted the UN Sustainable Development Goals and is one of 3 New Zealand companies listed on the Dow Jones Asia Pacific Sustainability Index.
Meridian Energy's sustainability focus has shifted away from clean energy into a more holistic approach, where they are driving towards a fairer and healthier world. With regulatory certainty, they are now committing capital in a way that is focused on delivering options at pace, given the urgency of climate change. Their Forever Forests initiative, where they're transitioning forests to be 100% native over time, aligns with their half by 30 emissions reduction goal. As New Zealand's largest 100% renewable energy generator, Meridian will play a key role in delivering on New Zealand's emissions reduction plan. This year, Meridian has chosen to adopt the updated Global Reporting Initiative standards. With their ambitious targets and meaningful actions, Meridian Energy is shifting the dial on sustainability.
With product innovation at the cornerstone of its success, Fisher & Paykel Healthcare is a leading designer, manufacturer and marketer of products and systems for use in acute and chronic respiratory care, surgery and the treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. With products sold in over 120 countries worldwide, Fisher & Paykel Healthcare is on a mission to improve patient care and outcomes through inspired, world-leading healthcare solutions.
Fisher & Paykel Healthcare's sustainability focus has significantly ramped up. Over the last few years, they've made a conscious effort to bring about real change by engaging people from across the business and linking their sustainability initiatives with innovation and research and development practices. A key focus for Fisher & Paykel has been finding a balance between doing what's right for the patient and the many challenges the environment this brings, and decoupling their business operations from negative social and environmental impacts. Their wide sustainability focus covers the environment, sourcing minerals responsibly, modern slavery, the efficient use of natural resources, and waste reduction. Fisher & Paykel Healthcare's long-term commitment to sustainability is very clear, with targets set for 2035, 2050 and 2100.
KMD Brands is a global outdoor lifestyle and sports company creating high-quality products designed for purpose, driven by innovation, that are best for people and the planet. Starting with Kathmandu, then acquiring Oboz in 2018 and Rip Curl in 2019, KMD Brands has transformed from a leading Australasian retailer to a brand-led global multi-channel business, rebranding to KMD Brands in 2022.
With Kathmandu a certified B Corp, and Oboz and Rip Curl also making strides towards B Corp certification, KMD Brands' approach to sustainability is strong, holistic and genuine. The company's well-established and evolving sustainability policies and practices are central to their operations and business model. They've made strong commitments to address climate change and the circular economy with their circular business model concept. With strong aspirations and commitments, and well-established sustainability practices, KMD Brands are clear leaders in the sustainability space.
And the winner of the Aotearoa Circle Sustainable Business Leadership Award goes to KMD Brands.
Kia ora, good evening. Thank you so much. Incredibly humbled. Congratulations to Fisher & Paykel and Meridian for your awesome work in this space. And thank you on behalf of KMD Brands. It is somewhat ironic winning this award because, at least in part, it's for saying that it's not about winning awards. When it comes to sustainability, it's not about being the most sustainable. Otherwise, in the light of the massive social and environmental challenges facing all of us, KMD Brands will simply be a really sustainable and hopefully good-looking chair on the deck of the Titanic. When what is essential is to collectively and collaboratively change the speed, size and direction of the ship itself. And that will require all of us to be leaders in this space. Nevertheless, in the spirit of embracing that paradox, we gratefully accept this award. Thank you.
And let's hope we're on a different waka. Yeah. No one said ko Titanic te waka, you know?
Identifying and appointing strong leaders is critical to strong business outcomes, and our next award recognises the importance of meaningful, high-level leadership in shaping the culture and conduct of businesses in New Zealand.
The Forsyth Bath Chairperson of the Year Award recognises an all-rounder who has a strong understanding of and a commitment to promoting high standards of corporate governance.
To present the award, please welcome Head of Investment Banking from Forsyth Bar, Guy Williams.
Thank you, Stacey and Jack, and good evening all. Let me start by saying congratulations to all the winners so far, and best of luck for the finalists still to come, including the 3 outstanding candidates for the Forsyth Bar Chairperson of the Year Award. We're delighted to sponsor this award and congratulate the 3 of you for demonstrating the exceptional leadership and governance skills required to be shortlisted. Before I announce the winner of this award, let's have a look at the finalists.
A former commercial lawyer and partner of 20 years at national law firm Russell McVeigh, Prue is currently chair of the board at Mercury, having served as director since 2010. Bringing experience in corporate and regulatory matters, corporate finance, capital markets and restructuring to her governance roles, Prue is a chartered member of the Institute of Directors and has also previously served as director of Chorus, Bank of New Zealand and chair of Queenstown Airport Corporation.
Prue has successfully navigated significant change in her role as Mercury Chair, taking the business through a smooth change in CEO as well as several prominent transactions. Since her appointment to the role of Chair in 2019, Prue has overseen various meaningful acquisitions for Mercury, including the New Zealand operations of Tilt Renewables and Trustpower in 2021. Through the Trustpower acquisition in particular, Mercury has managed to double its customer connections and accelerate its entry into the telecommunications market. Prue takes great responsibility in her role as chair, viewing this role as playing an important bridge between board and management, and is very aware of the need to carefully manage the board composition.
Dame Therese Walsh brings extensive leadership experience to her current roles as Chair of ASB Bank, Air New Zealand and Chapter Zero New Zealand, and Director of Antarctica New Zealand and On Being Bold. With a background in audit and the sporting industry, Dame Therese has also held governance roles at TVNZ, NZX, Contact Energy and New Zealand Cricket. She also played a part in New Zealand winning its bid to host the Rugby World Cup 2011 in her role as CFO at the New Zealand Rugby Union.
As chair of both ASB Bank and Air New Zealand, Dame Therese has demonstrated her mettle as a chairperson over the pandemic. She has competently led ASB Bank through a period of deep global and domestic financial and economic uncertainty, and has overseen the hard-hit Air New Zealand through a successful $1.2 billion equity raise to strengthen its financial position for recovery. Dame Therese has an engaging and inclusive style as chair and likes to see directors get out of the boardroom and into the business. As a highly respected leader, she is committed to taking action on climate change as chair of Chapter Zero and inspiring women throughout their career as a founder of collective On Being Bold.
Currently chair of Meridian Energy and Somerset Group Holdings, Mark started his governance career in 2009 after retiring from the senior executive team at Telecom New Zealand. A former practicing lawyer, Mark has also held roles as chair of Freightways, Spark, Willis Bond Capital and Transpower, and will soon retire from a long-standing directorship at ANZ Bank. Throughout his varied governance and legal career, Mark had significant involvement in the energy, technology, transportation, banking and capital market sectors.
Mark is a highly esteemed chairperson, with his many chair appointments speaking to how well regarded he is around the board table. He operates with a respected and trusted governance style, a highly collaborative approach, and clearly relishes the diversity of thought that comes from working as part of a team. Mark is passionate about making a meaningful difference to New Zealand and likes to take on roles that involve a challenge. At Somerset and Meridian Energy, he's tackling some of New Zealand's greater issues. He's committed to providing quality care for our ageing population and is highly supportive of Meridian's clean energy aspirations, which will significantly contribute to New Zealand's goal of achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050.
Three fantastic candidates, but it's my pleasure to present the Forsyth Bar Chairperson of the Year Award to Mark Verbeest. Unfortunately, Mark's overseas at the moment and can't be here with us tonight, but he has sent us a short video message.
Kia ora tātou. I'm very sad I couldn't be at the awards tonight. Ironically, it's the first time I've ever missed them. I'm very grateful to Deloitte and the judges, and can I thank the organisers on behalf of you all for putting on another fantastic evening to celebrate top New Zealand business. I'm very humbled to get this award. We don't undertake these roles for kudos, but it is always nice when you're acknowledged. And in fact, I think I was more chuffed that Meridian was nominated for the Best Sustainability and Leadership Award, and Freightways, from whom I've just retired, for the Best Business Growth Strategy. To my fellow nominees, Therese and Prue, your friends, your colleagues, and I have the greatest respect for you both. When I reflect on my governance career, I've been helped immensely along the way by other chairs, other directors, CEOs and management. I've had a lot of great opportunities and some decent challenges to confront. And it's always satisfying when you get over the other side of those. To my CEOs, all of them that I've worked with in the past, and in particular those that I'm working with currently, Neil Barclay and Scott Schoolar. I so admire your value set, all of you. You are concerned to do the right thing by New Zealand, as well as being very strong people leaders, and obviously, most importantly, providing seriously long-term value for investors. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Sally. She's my chief advisor, particularly when it comes to matters of what the general populace might be thinking. That's seriously important in terms of social license to operate, so I really value her as a sounding board, aside from her general support. New Zealand has a number of significant issues to confront in the near and medium term, and I'd like to think that all of us can collaborate together to solve them. Ngā mihi nui, have a good evening.
Congratulations, Mark, and I'll make sure you get this.
The role of Chief Financial Officer is vital to any business. And as you all know, under the stewardship of a talented CFO, a company is sure to thrive. Stewardship has never been more essential than these volatile times.
The Tax Traders Chief Financial Officer of the Year Award recognises a CFO whose performance from the previous year has been a standout.
The judges look for a CFO who not only directed their organisation's financial performance, but also demonstrated a contribution to sustainable value for shareholders and was able to steady the ship during times of market volatility.
Who has love for the CFOs?
We all love the CFOs. Yeah! You can't exactly say no, can you?
Everyone loves you on payday. So here to present the award for the Tax Traders Chief Financial Officer of the Year, please welcome to the stage co-founder of Tax Traders, Nicola Taylor.
Tēnā koutou katoa. Whakatau ana hau, ngā mihi, ngā kōrero, ngā ahuiatanga o tēnei pō. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa. Hey, it is a real pleasure for me to present the Tax Traders Chief Financial Officer of the Year Award. As Jack said, and as we all know, the CFO is critical in any thriving business. Not only are they responsible for the financial health of that organisation, but the CFO is also a key strategic voice. They're a leader of people, and increasingly, they're a driver of some of our critical initiatives around diversity, around sustainability, and around ESG. Our three finalists tonight are outstanding executives. They're visionary leaders, they're incredibly humble, they will attribute their success to the success of their team. And like us here at Tax Traders, they're all about seeing business flourish and grow. So let's take a look at these three impressive finalists.
Mark is an experienced global finance executive, having spent 12 years in various finance leadership roles at Roche Pharmaceuticals and most recently as Chief Financial Officer of dairy cooperative Fonterra. Mark has worked in emerging and established markets around the world and is adept at providing strategic leadership and leading teams through significant change. He's also an independent member of the board of Te Whatu Ora, Health New Zealand's Finance and Audit Committee.
In his 5 years as Fonterra CFO, Mark has supported the strategy of selling non-strategic and underperforming assets and lowering leverage in the business to achieve a strong balance sheet, an improved credit rating outlook, improved financial flexibility, with a renewed focus on excellence in the dairy, milk, and ingredients businesses that are most important to dairy farmer returns. The success of the strategy has been apparent in the last 6 months as Fonterra has posted a record milk price alongside an improving, strong earnings outlook in both the 2022 and current 2023 years. Mark also had an impact on improving morale and restoring confidence in the Fonterra finance team and has high credibility among the cooperative. supports farmers.
Appointed CFO of leading grocery retailer Foodstuffs North Island in 2017, Joe has held senior finance, strategy, leadership and transformation roles for a number of leading FMCG companies globally over the last 20 years. With a unique background in engineering, combined with her deep industry experience, commercial expertise and leadership capability, Joe has delivered a significant contribution to Foodstuffs North Island's success over the past 5 years.
Joe is a highly respected CFO, intelligent, competently across the numbers, and with a thorough understanding of key strategic issues facing the business. She's also seen as a gifted team leader, operating with a demanding yet compassionate approach. Joe has had a significant impact in steering Foodstuffs through a particularly challenging regulatory landscape, including the Commerce Commission review of the retail grocery sector. She is a leading example of a CFO who deeply understands finance and strategy and strongly supports the CEO and management in driving significant value.
As the CFO of infrastructure investor and operator Infratil, Philippa is responsible for financial management reporting, taxation compliance and strategy, treasury and risk. Appointed to the CFO role in 2015, Philippa's extensive background in complex accounting and tax issues, including previous roles as head of tax for Morrison & Co. and Vector, means she is well placed to drive value for Infratil. Philippa is also a current director of Retire Australia, RHCNZ Group Limited and Wellington International Airport.
Philippa has been called out by management, the board, and the market as a leading CFO and key executive behind Infratil's success and top decile return to shareholders. She has made key contributions to the company's acquisitions and divestments, such as Vodafone, Tilt Renewables, and Long Road Energy, all of which have helped to drive value for Infratil. Philippa has also been an effective team leader for the finance function and has been central to developing judgments and strategies on complex international tax and accounting issues and financing structures linked to Infratil's international investment footprint.
Three wonderful humans, but the winner of the Tax Traders Chief Financial Officer of the Year Award is Philippa Harford.
Goodness. Thank you very much. I'll just prepare myself, and I had some very good advice from my friends at the table to take a deep breath and make sure that I was ready to speak first. So, ka nui te mihi, tērā koutou katoa. And good evening, everybody. I'd like to start to just say thank you very much for the acknowledgement that you've given me here tonight. And as much as anything, though, to recognise that that's an endorsement for the Infratil team. I think you'll all know, or I'd like to think you'll know, that our strategy is to invest wisely in ideas that matter. And, you know, like many things, that can take a long time. It's not without risk, and there's a good deal of mahi that's involved. And I think we've also sought to communicate our strategy clearly, because as you can appreciate, it's very important that we have our stakeholder support, whether that be our shareholders, our bondholders and our banks. And I'm very proud, and we're very proud of both the results that we've managed to achieve, but also actually our current financial position as we look to go into what you might think is going to be quite choppy economic waters. And I think it's just worth reflecting that there's an incredible amount of teamwork that's involved in the successful outcomes for Infratil. I've had the pleasure of being with Morrison & Co. for 14 years now, and as was said, I started to be the Deputy CFO in 2000 and I think, I'm going to say 13. And it was actually a really big deal. You know, I was a tax person and I was given the opportunity to be a Deputy CFO, and I thought, well, you know, that could either go well or it could go badly. And it's not the sort of thing you can change your mind and go, well, hey, I'll just go back to tax. So I'm very happy to be here, and I would just like to really thank also the Infratil directors. I've got some of them here in the room and they're always so supportive of me, so thank you very much, and I very much enjoy our relationship, so thank you. And I've just got a couple more thank yous. I'd like to say congratulations to Joe Allen and to Mark Rivers. I'm sure you've had a challenging year like I have, but it's got to be said that we all need to have some fun along the way. So I hope you've managed to achieve that. And ngā mihi nui, thank you very much to the tax traders for supporting us and for having this award, and of course to Deloitte and NZME for running these awards. It really is a pleasure to be supporting New Zealand business, right? Because we're just this little country and yet we can do great things. And just finally, I'd like to thank my family. Some of them are in Wellington watching this online, and my mum is 82. I'm not sure she'll be still up now. But I come from a family of 5 kids. I'm lucky enough to have a very supportive husband and 2 kids that, you know, haven't seen me always as much as they would have liked. But we've had a lot of fun on the way, so thank you to everybody. Thanks.
Kia ora, congratulations. Our next award is highly sought after and recognises the best performance by a chief executive in the past year. Our judges have taken a detailed look at the performance of the winner's organisation and the extent to which they have influenced that performance and the business's current strategy.
The judges also place strong emphasis on the regard in which the winner is held by their peers.
Notable Chief Executive of the Year winners in the past have included Mark Waller, Stephen Tindall, and current National Party leader Mr Christopher Luxon.
Tēnā koe. To present the ServiceNow Chief Executive of the Year award, here is the New Zealand Country Manager for ServiceNow, Kate Tulp.
Tēnā koutou. Congratulations to everybody who's been nominated and up on the stage tonight. It has been an absolute delight for us to see so many of our customers celebrated for the great work that they're doing every day. ServiceNow is all about partnering with organisations, business and government to help people reimagine and transform for the future. The CEO of the Year award is one that's, I think, particularly exciting given the times that we're all living in. We've been pivoting, we've been facing into headwinds, we've been experiencing some pretty exciting inflation that's just off the charts, and may that stop very soon, for I'm sure many people would agree. So in all of that, our CEOs have been leading, and we are very excited to see who those nominations are tonight. So let's just take a look at them now.
Jolie's appointment to CEO of Spark New Zealand in 2019 followed a substantial career within New Zealand's largest telecommunications and digital services company, including a 3-year stint as CFO and time as the CEO of subsidiary Spark Digital. No stranger to the Deloitte Top 200, Jolie was previously recognised in 2016 for her leadership at Spark, winning the Chief Financial Officer of the Year award. She's a strong advocate for diversity and inclusion, digital equity, and the role that technology can play in enabling a transition to a low-carbon economy.
In her time at Spark, Jolie has played a pivotal part in transforming Spark from a legacy telco to a growing digital service company. She is a highly regarded CEO in the market and has strongly positioned Spark within a highly disruptive and competitive environment, particularly at a time when core landline revenues are declining. Spark has continued to be a market leader on the NZX, with shareholder returns of 12% over the past year, ending in September, and 17% per year over the last 10 years. Jolie has a strong view on the role that digitization can play in decarbonization and helping New Zealand to meet its climate goals, becoming the convener of the CEO steering group for the Climate Leaders Coalition in June 2022.
Following successful stints as CEO of Pacific Steel and Wiremakers and COO of Carter Holt Harvey's Pulp, Paper and Packaging division, Reece joined metal product distributor and processor Vulcan Steel in 2006. Initially in the role of Executive Director before he was appointed as Managing Director and CEO in 2011, Reece has presided over 7 acquisitions and several greenfield expansions during his tenure at Vulcan. Reece also brings his commercial acumen and industry experience to his governance roles on the boards of Ridley Corporation and Metro Performance Glass.
Since joining Vulcan Steel in 2006, Reece has been a critical element in the company's success. He has grown the business from $7 million EBITDA to $200 million and created superior shareholder value through solid organic growth in the Australian and New Zealand markets, supported by targeted acquisitions. Vulcan's annual shareholder returns have been over 35% annually leading up to their successful IPO in November 2021. At Vulcan, Reece has embedded a culture of hiring talented general managers and empowering them locally to put customers first. He has proven himself as an elite operator within the steel distribution industry.
Ross brings significant global experience spanning the real estate, construction, engineering and building products sectors to his current role as CEO of Fletcher Building, a leading building products and solutions business operating across Australasia. Ross has previously led businesses with activities in investment, development, construction, product manufacturing and resources extraction and operation. Having lived and worked extensively across New Zealand, Australia, Asia, Europe and the USA, he has direct experience across much of the sector value chain.
Ross is highly respected by the Fletcher board and management for steering the multiple businesses of Fletcher Building through a period of high uncertainty. He has managed to turn around the businesses while navigating demand and cost-based worries during COVID-19 and the subsequent challenges created by high demand and a problematic supply chain. Ross's calm and strategic approach has seen Fletcher Building achieve a 42% increase in net profit in the 12 months to June, from $305 million to $432 million. All divisions of the company are reporting positive EBIT, with a solid pipeline of committed work in the business end markets.
I'm absolutely delighted to announce that the ServiceNow Chief Executive of the Year Award goes to Jolie Hodson from Spark.
Tēnā koutou katoa and good evening everyone. What a privilege to be recognised in this category when I think about the people that have come before me, but also the outstanding finalists we had tonight in both Ross and Reece. When I think about when I joined Telecom, the company sort of almost 10 years ago now, and I think about where Spark is today, I'm really proud of what we've achieved. We've created a business that has a world-class performance muscle, one that puts customers at the heart of what we do, and one that has delivered shareholder returns number 2 when we compare ourselves to our global peers. And the thing within all of that I'm most proud about is we've done that with a more diverse and more inclusive company, one with higher engagement, and one that is taking a leadership role as we think about the climate change challenges ahead for New Zealand. And when I talk about the achievements, they aren't mine alone. They're all about what we've achieved as Spark. And I use the word we very purposefully, because it is about the people that have believed in me. So my chair, Justine, and my board, some of her here tonight, my leadership team that work alongside me to deliver the outcomes that we do every day, the Spark whānau, who do what they say every single day, and of course the people who are here, peers, my On Being Bold crew, a number of them at the tables around here tonight, and most importantly my family. So my husband Gareth's here tonight, my children Sam and Emma are at home, my sisters are both here, and also to my parents. My parents created a great stable environment for me and my 2 sisters, and I really want to recognise that, because they're the people that are here for the good, the bad, the ugly and the awesome. So with that, thank you for the award. Look forward to having a celebratory drink with a number of you tonight, and ngā mihi nui.
Congratulations. It is now time for our final and arguably most prestigious award of the night.
Yes, the Amazon Web Services Company of the Year Award. Now, this recognises exceptional organisational performance by a company in the preceding year.
In addition to the latest financial measures, the judges look at our finalists' corporate reputation, approach to environmental management and people management, alongside a range of other factors.
In the 33 years of the Deloitte Top 200 Awards, this award has been bestowed upon some truly outstanding recipients.
Yeah. To present the Amazon Web Services Company of the Year Award, it is my pleasure to welcome Tiffany Bloomquist, who's the Country Manager for New Zealand for Amazon Web Services.
Kia ora koutou. It's a wonderful evening tonight, and it's my pleasure to be able to present the Amazon Web Services Company of the Year Award tonight. For those of you that don't know, Amazon aspires to be the most customer-obsessed organization in the world. In fact, 90% of what we've created as product and services are not because of our great ideas, but because customers have trusted us with their challenges and partnered with us to create the next greatest innovations for a broad community around the world. This translates to New Zealand because we have the opportunity to work with not only the brand new startups and small businesses, but also the largest enterprises and government organizations across Aotearoa. It is our privilege to help share what technology can do for businesses, but also to help these amazing Kiwi companies export their great ideas and innovation to the world. Now with that, let's hear about some amazing companies that are not only changing the life of Kiwis, but exporting these great ideas to other companies around the world. Let's hear from our fabulous finalists.
With a 150-year history in New Zealand, Briscoe Group is known for its two iconic brands, Briscoe's Homeware and Rebel Sport. Through its network of 90 stores and strong online presence, the company is proud to service New Zealanders from Kirikiri down to Invercargill. Briscoe Group's diverse and dedicated team of over 2,000 are committed to providing an enjoyable, rewarding and valuable shopping experience to its customers.
Briscoe Group has consistently been a top performer in the retail sector, delivering an annualised 18% total shareholder return over the past 10 years. Led by a strong CEO, Rod Duke, Briscoe Group's strategic focus on people, their store network and supply chain has helped to ease pressures caused by staff shortages, cost increases and supply chain issues over the past year. Despite COVID-19's heavy impact on the retail sector, Briscoe Group has managed to continue its growth trajectory. Boosted by heightened online sales, its latest sales numbers are up 21% relative to pre-COVID-19 levels, and its net profit for the latest period is 61% higher.
Founded in 1995, Vulcan Steel is an Australasian-wide industrial product distributor and value-added processor. It operates as a key link in the value chain between metal producers and end users, distributing metal products, including steel and aluminium, to a diversified customer base, including customers in engineering, manufacturing, fabricating, transport, mining and other sectors.
Vulcan Steel thrived as a privately owned steel distribution company for over 20 years before converting to a publicly traded company in November 2021. The company has continued their long record of superior performance for shareholders, with total shareholder returns since listing at 32%. Sales in the past year also increased by 32%. Operating profit increased by an exceptional 82% and net profit by 119%. This year, Vulcan Steel also successfully acquired Ulrich Aluminium, which has added to their range and helped to underpin further growth. Although the steel and metals markets have been buoyant, helping to lift pricing, Vulcan's recent performance has been exceptional. They are a long-term New Zealand success story, led by an outstanding and committed leadership team.
NZX and ASX-listed EBOS Group is a leading Australasian marketer, wholesaler and distributor of healthcare, medical and pharmaceutical products. Generating over $10 billion in revenue annually and servicing thousands of customers across Australasia, EBOS is dedicated to building better communities through an unwavering commitment to the provision of high-quality healthcare and animal care products.
With an outstanding long-term record of 23% total shareholder returns annually over the past 10 years, EBOS Group has featured regularly at the Deloitte Top 200 Awards. Having just celebrated their 100th year, the company reached $10 billion in sales for the first time this year, which were up 17% from the year prior, and were among the handful of larger listed companies which achieved positive shareholder returns over the past 12 months. EBOS is led by an impressive and well-regarded leadership team who have successfully guided the business through the recent acquisition of Life Healthcare in Australia and managed to sustain the company's performance and growth throughout COVID-19.
First of all, congratulations to all of our finalists. The final award for the evening, the Amazon Web Services Company of the Year, goes to Vulcan Steel.
Thank you, Tiffany. Look, I'd like to acknowledge the two other finalists, particularly Briscoe's obviously a leading company for many years and a company I personally follow, an outstanding organisation. EBOS we look at regularly because they've grown in Australia so well, and over time they've done a number of successful acquisitions, and we've certainly modelled some of our behaviour in Australia from what they've done and tried to learn from it. With regard to Vulcan, I think the key element about how we've performed so well is we've got quite an unusual culture. We've basically got a no titles culture where basically we treat everybody as a colleague and we ensure that everybody reaches their full potential. This cultural element makes us a highly competitive organisation, but not competitive in the negative sense of trying to beat people, but the positive sense of trying to be the best we can be. That drive and enthusiasm transfers extremely well when we acquire businesses. The other element I'd like to stress is the huge focus on just a distributed leadership team network, and we've got some outstanding leaders, so we genuinely share leadership roles. So that overall means that as a company we can grow and thrive, and we look at future challenges and really grab hold of them. So becoming publicly listed we viewed as an absolute challenge and a pleasure to be involved with. So look, I'd just like to acknowledge the team. I've got a number of our team over there. Unique characteristics in IT from James Wells, and some of the modelling of the behaviour in our culture, Adrian, Casey, and a number of other leaders. And lastly, I'd just like to thank my family here and great support, my beautiful wife Susan and my two daughters Sarah and Ella, who absolutely loved the evening and were full support and giving me some tips on how to do the speech as well. So again, fantastic achievement, and we really appreciate it, and all my colleagues at Vulcan will absolutely thrive on this recognition. So thank you very much.
Tēnā rā koutou katoa. We so appreciate all the respect that you've shown tonight. You have shown resilience, you've shown grit, you've shown what is the Aotearoa New Zealand way of business. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Are you interested in where the networking drinks are?
Yes.
They're downstairs, the bar is open, the heater is on. I get up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work, and I want some of you to still be partying, okay?
On behalf of Stacey and I just want to say a massive thanks. It's been an honour to be your MCs this evening and share the stage and room with the best and brightest in the business community.
I think it's safe to say that in the hands of our 2022 Deloitte Top 200 winners and finalists, the world is truly ours.
Very quickly, before we let you downstairs, hold your applause for 1 second. Save it for our sponsors. 2 Degrees, Amazon Web Services, Barfoot and Thompson, Business New Zealand, Forsyth Bar, Hobson Levy, Meredith Connell, ServiceNow, Tax Traders, and the Aotearoa Circle. Let's hear it for them.
And of course, our exclusive media sponsor, New Zealand Herald Premium, and our wine sponsor, Lathwaites as well. So we are so grateful for all of your support for the Deloitte Top 200 Awards.
Congratulations to our finalists and our winners. Get out there, have a great night.
Tēnā koutou.